The potato tour across Russia continues for now. Today we are at a company that manufactures potato transporters, and with Oswell actually we're speaking with Vladimir Mamaev, the director of Wilder Trailers. Volodya, how did the idea for potato transporters even come about? It's raining, so please tell us about it as quickly as possible so that it's interesting and fun for us.
Well, last year Miratorg approached us. Actually, it was only last year that we found out such equipment even existed. We supplied a lot of agricultural trailers to Miratorg, and we also work closely with Glavmastor. And so in that same collaboration, we decided to produce a potato transporter. And in fact, Miratorg believed in us. Again, a huge thanks to FIM and Glavmastor, our partners. And literally within half a year from the moment we found out, we produced the semi-trailer. Now it has passed the initial tests. But
we showed that in the video, right? Do we have a video?
Yes.
Let's take a look to see if you really do make these potato transporters. Let's go through the workshops and you can show us how such a creation comes to life.
Yes, we have right here in the administrative building warehouse for material and technical resources. These are smaller items, hydraulics, pneumatics, electrical components. We store the metal in the preparatory workshops. So now we'll go through them. Our workshops aren't all in one building, so we'll have to walk outside a bit.
Well, we're not made of sugar. We won't melt.
Right. We're constantly expanding, so everything is always in a state of moving around. Here, it's a bit empty right now, but this is where we'll set up our mechanical workshop. We'll see it, plater lathes, milling machines, and so on.
This is where metal processing starts.
Here we process pipes, cut them to size, to the required angles, and so on. This area will be for pipes and mechanical processing. It's also convenient that we can combine them here for cutting round bars or thick-walled pipes for machining on lathes and milling machines.
The chassis.
Yes, we've been making the suspension ourselves for a long time now. And to give a little spoiler, we've renovated the axles in other words. We used to outsource part of the process, but now we've completely revised our approach. And in a couple of months, equipment from China should arrive for us. We're launching axle production. Well, that's just a little bit.
Listen, what was the most difficult part of creating the potato transporter?
Most likely, understanding what the client actually needs. As everyone knows, only Toner used to manufacture this kind of equipment in Russia. But again, we went out to the farms, asked around, even visited Miratorg, went to the Arzamas district, saw the American outlet semi-trailers, no point hiding that, and we decided for ourselves, well, not just decided, but after consulting with potential clients, that this was the optimal option. And the goal was to put the outlet and our semi-trailer side by side and ask a person, well, if you remove the brands, which one is better? They would say, well, this one seems like an updated version, improved, and so on. So we're not comparing with Toner, because Toner is basically the same American model, just produced elsewhere and with slightly different features. Basically, we needed to figure out exactly what the client wanted, because this market is new for us and we don't have expertise there. We relied specifically on the request of our clients.
Listen, I know that a potato hauler isn't just a potato hauler, it's a universal trailer. What makes it universal? During these tests, have you already tried it out? What did you work with?
Yes, well, again, it's about the request. Miratorg is a big company, and 2 or 3 months of potato harvesting at most, that's not the level of productivity they expect. Exactly. They also want to transport silage, to transport grain, well, all sorts of different grains. So for now, we've conducted tests on loading grain. We fully loaded it, drove around, and checked its airtightness. That is, nothing spills out anywhere. The structure holds up without even the slightest hint of any problem. And today, together with you, we also conducted silage tests in your presence. This was an important point in our agreements with Miratorg, that it should be able to unload silage. So we loaded it with a mount. It comes out as a solid mass. Everything works perfectly. Unfortunately, there's no one to get potatoes from now.
There aren't any potatoes, is that it?
Yes, we'll have to wait for the season, and we'll come during the harvest and film how it works.
Volodya, in the near future, this spring or summer, can people see, touch, or even smell this trailer? Are there any exhibitions where you'll be bringing this trailer?
Yes, this week we are leaving the trailer, is heading to Golden Niva in Ust-Labinsk, where the exhibition will take place from the 27th to the 31st. Then to Nizhny Novgorod for Potato Russia.
Day of the Pilgrim. The potato hauler will be there. I think each of you can come see it, touch it, and ask Vladimir any questions you have. By that time, everything will probably be finished and fine-tuned.
Well, we really hope so, yes.
Will you show us the other workshops?
Yes, let's go. Here we have the main preparation workshop for working with sheet metal. We also store it here, as you can see. These are mainly high-strength steels, and also, for example, we started making a potato transporter. We fell in love with it. Initially, in the technical specifications, we wrote that only the dolly and the body side members would be made from S700 MC. In the end, we thought, if we're going to do it, let's do it right. So we made everything out of S700 MC, that is high-strength steel, to make sure it would last for years, decades, and nothing would go wrong. As you said, the community is very small, so if we fail, it will be a real failure. One mistake, and that's it, you've messed up.
I see, yes.
Right. So when it comes to sheet material cutting, we have two lasers. Previously, we had 4 plasma cutters, but now we only use 2 laser machines. And we have plasma as a backup. In fact, they're basically stored in our warehouse. If there's a need to increase productivity, we'll just add a third laser.
And what's the difference between plasma and laser for someone who doesn't know much about it?
Processing accuracy, processing speed.
So the laser is more precise?
It's more productive, or how would you put it? Yes, it's more precise. That's one way to put it.
So the dimensions will be more accurate?
Yes. We also have a guillotine and a double bending machine. It's a 3-meter tandem. So we can bend 6-meter parts or do 3 meters at a time. Here is the section, so to speak, for preparing the metal, since it doesn't always arrive in good condition. The laser is sensitive to the surface quality of the metal. That's why we have preliminary or post-processing after the laser here, and there are 2 tumblers installed. They're like washing machine drums. You load small parts in there, and they get tumbled before moving on to the next processing stages like welding. The advantage is that we remove all the scale and sharp edges. So sharp edges are...
Does that affect the quality of the weld?
It's actually a risk for paint peeling. For example, if the edge is sharp, the paint simply won't adhere there. And the first place where the paint will start to come off is from those sharp edges. And that's exactly what the vibratory finishing process does.
Let's move on.
Yes. So this is where the metal is brought in and processed.
The Chinese trucks are happy too.
Yes. Previously, we mostly relied on Kamaz trucks, but now we're working closely with Galfastor. Hongyan trucks are also in high demand, by the way, especially in the eastern part, like Brno and those regions. It's just how things have historically developed. But overall, we have approval to build on almost any chassis, Chinese, Russian, basically anything that can be brought in right now.
And can the potato transporter be hooked up to a tractor somehow? Is there any kind of fifth wheel?
Yes, we have developed a 2-axle dolly. It also differs from the toner version. Well, since he supplies so many of them, yes. So instead of a walking beam suspension, we have an improved suspension. You could say with leaf springs. Toner just uses a walking beam which is fine for driving across fields, but it's not really ideal for a semi-trailer because we believe it creates a dynamic load on the semi-trailer itself, which shortens its service life. That's why it would be better to install some kind of suspension on the dolly. It's not just about being good enough for the field, it's that this actually extends the lifespan of the equipment.
This is the machine shop, right?
Yes. We have a small mechanical section here. Here we make things like bushings and pins. We don't need a lot of these parts, but we fully cover our needs.
You make them yourselves?
Yes. We do everything ourselves that we can. Now we're passing by some of the workshops. Over there, we're preparing a workshop for axle production. The machine shop will move and axle assembly will be here.
So, careful. Paint.
Here we have the paint shops, but they actually scattered around the premises. You see how our workshops are all fragmented. And these are the three main ones that we use right now. This one also has forced heating, so to speak, up to 60 degrees. The others don't.
Drying, huh?
Yes, there's a drying chamber here. They thought it would close down, but no way. I know the entrances. So here we assemble the chassis. Right now there are no chassis, as I understand it, but it looks like they've started assembling the base here. So they assembled everything for the potato transporter, and we're not starting on the others. That way we don't interfere with the blanks and so on. But basically, this is a welding shop for
chassis.
For chassis, yes. Here we also make the suspension, small section of the drawbar, and the swivel bogies. All of that is done here.
It definitely needs to be tightened.
Yes, tighten it, loosen everything. The large channels, all of this is made from high-strength 700 steel. It looks thin, but actually because of the large box sections and the design, it's sturdy. And the bolts also add a certain flexibility to it. So there you have it, strong enough.
Cool. And where are we right now?
So we finally turned on the lights. This is the welding shop. This is where we assemble the bodies. We have a separate area for the chassis. This one is specifically for the bodies. It's lunchtime right now. Maybe we got lucky.
Yeah. By the way, I want to mention that the lunch break at this facility is from 11 to 12 for a reason. It's so people can arrive before the traffic jams and leave earlier before the traffic starts.
And there was more time left.
Yeah, that's actually a really interesting point.
So here we have a small sub-assembly area, which is specifically used for various important tasks. Here they carefully weld and assemble some standard components, such as stairs, handrails, spare wheel holders, and so on and so forth, as needed.
How do you translate DZK into Russian?
It stands for spare wheel holder, basically. Those components that are installed modularly and don't change their shape depending on the product type or modification, so to speak.
Am I right in understanding that this is already a potato transporter at the very beginning? Well, not at the very beginning, but here?
Well, at the very beginning, we don't see it yet. Yes, there are stages here. First, we assemble this side part separately well, both side parts, then we connect them with crossbars and align everything. So we have a jig, we didn't have time to paint it because everything was on a tight schedule, but still we align it using the jig with the bolts so that it matches up with the cut. That is, the cut has its own jig, and here we have our own jig, and during assembly we connect them together, everything gets joined. That's the point.
To get it into the hole, right?
Get there. That's it. So yes, the side members are tacked separately, then everything is welded together so it doesn't work because there aren't any jigs for this kind of tooling.
In general, or?
Well, in general, this is the non-standard T-beam. So if you look at the regular semi-trailer, the frame side members are T-beams. Here we've used this interesting design. It's a T-beam with a widening in the middle, which is the most heavily loaded part. The same outlet, the American one, doesn't have this. So
So this gives more
rigidity
to the body, right?
Yes. So we surveyed it, and over time it developed cracks all over it from 2013, and they had to add a brace in the middle because it was bending so much. And it bends like that because the side members here aren't reinforced. So here we've installed much stronger cross members, and we weld them, unlike the Outlaw, using gussets. So we don't weld directly to the wall.
Directly, right?
Yes, we weld everything through rivets. So when it's driving loaded,
it'll flex a little, right?
Yes, it'll flex like this and won't crack. That's kind of our thing. We try to assemble everything with rivets.
Is it okay that you shared your secret on camera?
It's fine. It's very labor intensive, and very few people bother with it. Everyone knows how it should be done, but hardly anyone actually does it. So this is the next stage. Here, the floors are laid, everything is welded, and then the body is lifted. So they lift it up, weld the sides, everything, and then it rolls out, right? Here is also our main product, the agricultural ones, which we moved aside for now. Right now, we are letting this batch through so it doesn't get in the way. We're letting it through a bit, and we've slowed down everything else. Right now, we need to finish delivering the potato transporter.
Well, what are the advantages? What improvements do you think your potato transporters have?
Again, we believe that the width of the conveyor belt is a big plus. We made it more versatile. It can unload silage. It can quickly unload grain. That's important. I mean, the toner can also unload grain, but our unloading speed is several times faster, 4 minutes, right? Reliability. This, let's say, belly in the center with these powerful struts easily holds the grain even without a crossbar on top. So the outlook itself starts to bulge like a barrel from the grain, and the guys just have to strap it down in the center. Here, you don't need to do that. Everything is already strong enough as it is. The hydraulics are well thought out. We really put a lot of thought into it and added what's called foolproofing, so that a tired person doesn't pull the wrong lever and break the rear gate. So first, you need to lift the hatch so that the locks are fully released. Only then does the valve switch to another distributor. And only after that can you turn on the belt and fully raise the rear gate. We believe this is important. We also improved the bumpers, yes, made them to meet European standards, proper standards, added side protection and so on. So safety is also important.
What kind of warranty do you offer on your trailers? Could you please explain?
The full warranty is 1 year. But in reality, it has historically been the case that if something goes wrong and the client contacts us after, say, a year and a half or even 2 years, it doesn't matter if we see that it's truly a design flaw. We don't just wash our hands of it and say, that's it, the warranty period is over, goodbye. We actually honor our warranty obligations even after the official warranty period has expired.
And probably the most important key question, how many years have you been manufacturing trailers?
If you count from the beginning, it's been since 2007. It started with flatbed platforms. Then, if I'm not mistaken, in 2012, we started producing trailers. Somewhere around 2017, though I might be mistaken, we mastered the production of semi-trailers. That's right.
18 years.
Yes, almost 20 years now. Gennady, our founder, actually started all these practically in garage making small parts, then platforms, then trailers, and eventually we bought out this facility. This place used to be a flour mill, Maknok Makwa Marfa. Anyway.
So that's 18 years as proof that the company has been operating and continues to operate. What I like most is that they really try to listen and modernize according to what the client wants.
Well, yes, that's important. Lately, especially recently, we've really been focusing on that because we can see the results, the feedback. In other words, we listen to the client and create a product tailored to their needs, not just how we want it. This is how we see it. I am an artist. This is how I see it. It turns out badly when you have to force feedback, like when you call and say, is everything okay? Did anything break? Is everything fine? It doesn't matter if something's wrong, you have to say what's wrong. It needs to be improved.
Yes. Dear friends, the potato tour across Russia continues. I'm grateful to Vladimir for reaching out to us and supporting our potato tour. And I really hope that Vladimir, next year, when the potato tour continues, I will see your trailers at the farms I visit. Thank you very much.
We think so too.
Thank you.